couple weeks ago, I talked about the most underrated teams heading into the 2020 season. It's time to turn the page and talk about the teams that are the most overrated heading into the 2020 NFL season. Cue the intro. Starting things off with the New England Patriots, and as a notable Patriots fan, this might come as a surprise to people, but I think we need to have different expectations for this upcoming season. As Patriots fans, as Patriots hopefuls, as Patriots supporters, the fans need to look around and see this is an entirely new team. This is an entirely new offense we're going to see. And that could be a good and a bad thing, but it is going to be different. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different watching things on Sundays. And on top of the whole Cam Newton situation, as long as he ends up being the starter, I think the Patriots can do a lot better than what they have with Jarrett Stidham currently. I think the New England Patriots and Cam Newton could be a very interesting dynamic duo. Josh McDaniels' offense, integrating some new kind of plays for Cam Newton's athletic ability, his athletic prowess, and integrating certain guys more so into the offense, including N'Keal Harry, who last year didn't see a lot of playing time due to spending a lot of time on the injured reserve list. Now, outside of the Cam Newton and the offensive situation, the Patriots have also lost a lot of players to opt out. Two notable big players are, of course, linebacker Dante Hightower and, of course, safety Patrick Chung, among many others. 7 total New England Patriots opted out of the upcoming season, and I think it's really going to hurt the defensive side of the football. Obviously, Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore is still going to be on the roster, still making plays, but the loss of Patrick Chung is going to be huge for that secondary. They're going to need Kyle Duggar, their second-round pick out of Lenore to step up heavily. And again, the offense and the defense are going to look really different this year. New expectations, but inside of the division, the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, two teams I've talked a lot about this offseason, getting better. The Buffalo Bills adding Stephon Diggs, getting better on offense. The Miami Dolphins making basically a huge overhaul this offseason, acquiring a lot of really good talent, including Tua Tagovailoa, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, just to name a few. So, two teams within the division that are getting better. The New England Patriots seeing quite a change this offseason could spell a little bit of dismay heading into the 2020 season, and that's why they fall on my overrated list. Another team on my overrated list out of the NFC North are the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers around the roster are still pretty solid, but without the drafting of another wide receiver to add into that offense for the Green Bay Packers, for quarterback Aaron Rodgers, it's going to make the passing game a little bit more, lenient, right? It's going to have to make the passing options a little less noteworthy to play call, right? And especially with the Jordan Love pick, a lot of mentorship going to be happening, and Matt LaFleur being put under the microscope for making the pick. The only wide receiver of note that the Green Bay Packers have is the fantastic Davante Adams, but as we've seen with other teams around the league, having just one receiver isn't really going to cut it, even if you have an absolutely talented Hall of Fame level quarterback like you have in Aaron Rodgers. Most notably, a comparison, Julian Edelman and Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. You can only have but so much success if they know where the ball's going every single time. So the Packers offense is going to look a little bit different, but I do love the addition of A.J. Dillon out of Boston College. The dude looks like an absolute tank out there on the practice field, and splitting time with him and Aaron Jones as well as Williams in the backfield, I think they're gonna have a nice trio, a commodity backfield. Aaron Jones, fantasy guys, he's gonna take a little bit of a hit this year. I think A.J. Dillon's gonna have a lot of those red zone carries, but the Green Bay Packers taking a hit on the offense this offseason, the confidence in the head coach a little bit wary, even for a team that just happened to make the NFC Championship last season. So a little overrated in my opinion. And of course, the Vikings and the Bears are both very solid teams inside the NFC West. The addition of Nick Foles could very well play out to be one of the biggest signings of this offseason. If he's successful with the Bears, I think the Bears are an immediate contender to win the NFC North as well as make the playoffs. And then finally, the last team on my list that falls into the overrated category are the Tennessee Titans. Now, after a monstrous playoff performance by King Derrick Henry and the addition of Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, helped rejuvenate the Tennessee Titans offense as a whole down the stretch. Heading into the playoffs, they were able to upset the New England Patriots at home as well as the Baltimore Ravens at home during the playoff run, but we're falling short again to the Kansas City Chiefs, the eventual Super Bowl champions. But The Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, could fall into the overrated category. They do fall into my overrated video because, well, this entire offense is predicated on the abilities of Derrick Henry. And as godlike as that man is at breaking tackles and, you know, becoming a monster as far as the fantasy numbers are concerned, as far as a monster that could just take over games from the running back position, the NFL is still very much so a passing league, and if your offense is entirely surrounded by the running game, it's difficult to be successful with just one premier running back. I'm not saying it's impossible. We're seeing Kyle Shanahan do some amazing things in San Francisco with a running back by commodity, and we're seeing other teams around the league doing very well with running back by commodity or rushing attacks, just like the Baltimore Ravens as well, and a little bit of the New Orleans Saints with, you know, the exception that Michael Thomas and Drew Brees are in that offense as well. We're seeing teams move towards a commodity backfield, and without another option in that backfield for the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry's risk of injury, his risk of not being available to, you know, capitalize the opportunities that that offense needs to be able to break down defenses over the course of a 4-quarter game, 60 minutes, I think it makes them vulnerable. The loss of Derrick Henry would make this team an immediate bottom 10 team. Just saying. They got a good defense, but they also have a lot of offseason losses. They lost Jarrell Casey, Logan Ryan, to name a couple of big players, along with Cameron Wake, the veteran pass rusher. So the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, going into this upcoming season, falling into the overrated category, excuse me. So, you know, that's just a little food for thought there. Appreciate you checking it out. Thank you so much for watching the video. All my social medias are down in the description below. Feel free to stick around and watch some more content. Subscribe, get the bell to know every single time I'm dropping a video. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff. My name's Tristan Blake Rines, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Adios.